That's a tough question. I don't know, because I feel like my journey was kind of organic, because I was first playing music with instruments, then producing by myself.
Platform.
I'm DJ Latinchat. My name is Lucas. I'm from Peru, here in Germany for about 4 years now. Yeah, I come from Lima, which is the capital of Peru. Basically been making music my whole life. I was mostly playing in bands before, and then some years ago during the pandemic, when I was alone in my house, I started producing music in the computer, and I ended up starting this project, DJ Latinchat. So first I started producing some music in my computer because it was the pandemic. I was just like at home, not being able to meet many people. Then I started learning to DJ to be able to play this music. So this project has been going on now for like 2 or 3 years, like since I first released something. Before, I was always playing with more people in bands, and I was like writing music for this kind of format. And I always had like this little thing of trying to make something of my own. I was learning Ableton by myself, starting to play around with music by myself, until like, at one point I started to have something that I actually liked, and I was no longer playing in any band, so I put more time into it. And then, basically, as I was saying, I decided to learn how to DJ because I had this music that was made for DJing. Like, it's computer music, so I had no real way of playing it live. Yeah, I guess different things in different moments. I used to be a lot into like electro pop stuff, like music with vocals, but like with electronic production. When I was in my late 20s or something, I came across dubstep, like UK dubstep and bass music. But also when I was like in my early 20s, back home in Lima, there was a big scene of what they called tropical bass, which was like mixing cumbia and some Afro-Peruvian beats and music like this with bass music that I didn't know bass music back then. So then I like started putting everything together, but I really like this music. It was very interesting what was happening around 10 years ago in my hometown. So I think these were kind of the two things that led me to what I'm doing now. I think during the pandemic especially, I got a lot into like quieter stuff that was nice for listening at home. On the other hand, I really liked reggaeton, but I didn't feel like a person that would make reggaeton, so I wanted to find something that was using this kind of beats that I had been hearing around my whole life and like making it a bit more, I don't know if introspective, but like more weird. Then some years ago I came across DJ Python. It was very nice for the pandemic because I could just listen to this very chill music at home, and I got into that a lot. So I think those were like kind of the three things that got me into the sound that I have now. Yeah, that's a tricky one. I think I'm quite influenced by bass music in some ways, in the sound, by like UK bass, but my rhythmic part is more influenced by the party music that was playing back home. And it's a mix of different genres. So there's like things coming from festejo, which is an Afro-Peruvian genre. There are things coming from reggaeton and dancehall, more reggaeton than dancehall, but they're very like linked, no? I also like, for example, salsa a lot. I don't think it's directly there in the music, but I think like this kind of rhythm somehow like gets into it. And there is this term that people use that is Latin club, which is like very wide, so it's very useful because it takes everything. But I think I would describe it as like Latin bass or something. Yes, definitely. I was going to concerts and I was sometimes going to parties, but I felt like they were two different things. I was not used to like going to parties to listen to music. And when I came here, I was not so familiar with techno. Like I knew techno, but it's not my thing. And then when I started going out and going to parties, the music was so new to me in a way, and the sounds were like so different that I got into this thing of like just going out to listen to music and also listening to music in like these like huge sound systems that sound very well. I was not used to it because usually when I was going to like underground parties back home, doesn't sound so clear. Even if I didn't get so much into techno, like it's not music that I listen to, I sometimes go out and I like listen to some kind of noise or some kind of thing that is just like resonating in my head, and maybe I don't even know what the track was, but when I'm home and I'm working on music, I'm like trying to recreate some feeling, but it's like what I remember of that feeling from the night. So I think that's like this indirect influence. It's definitely there. That's a tough question. I don't know, because I feel like my journey was kind of organic, because I was first playing music with instruments, then producing by myself, and then playing live. I think it depends. If I was going to give advice, for example, it depends on what you like and what you want to do. I think if you like, for people that are really into the craft of DJing or like that admire DJs that are very good, it makes sense to start DJing first, because then when you produce, you kind of understand what works. I feel like a lot of the tracks that I produced first, I like them as songs. I cannot DJ them. They don't really fit very well sometimes. And it took me some time to like get used to making things that work when I'm DJing. So I think it depends, because I really enjoy producing music. So I wouldn't change that. If you want to produce club music and if you want to make music that works for DJs and for the club, yeah, I think it makes sense to first learn the craft of DJing. It can be very easy at first, but to get really good at it, yeah, it's very hard. I feel like I'm very far from that yet. I'm like spending more time producing than DJing. So yeah, of course, first greetings. I want to send greetings to my family, to my friends, to my partner who's always supporting me, but also especially in this context to the people I've been working with here. I'm part of 2 collectives. Being part of this has been very good for me, like for feeling at home in the city. So one is Radical Sounds Latin America, which I started collaborating with 2 years ago, and it's really nice to work with them. And the other is Delírio, that is a collective we started last year with Cali and Sincerif, 2 friends that are also DJs. It's made this last year very nice. So cheers.